to the Newbie Real Estate Investor Podcast. I'm Jonathan Boyle. I'm here with my co-host Joey Chan, and we have special guests, leverage companies, David Choi and Eric Panecki. Welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, welcome back to the show, man. This is our second time around.
I think you guys are the first people to come back onto the podcast.
Wow.
Again, yeah.
Wow. Feel privileged. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Pop the cherry.
The no bullshit, a lot of fun approach.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see how far you guys have come in a year and the guests you've had, and I'm sure you've learned a lot along the way. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, kind of like the same question we're gonna ask you, right? Yeah. Give our audience a little bit of update as far as what you guys have been doing for the past year, right? The challenges that you've gone through. I'm sure everybody has gone through with the whole COVID situation. And later on, give us a kind of like a sneak peek of what you're doing currently.
Sure.
So kind of like start from where we kind of left off. I don't know if you remember. Basically, from you guys in the North Arlington office and kind of transitioning to the new Newark office.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, so a quick question for you. What was the name of the title of the last podcast that we put out?
That would be a good question.
Yeah.
So it was something like 0 to whatever deals.
Right? I would love to see the growth that we've had from that point in time. I really don't know where I think we were at like 10, 15 deals a month at that point.
Yeah. I think it was like 0 to 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got more going on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we've definitely learned a lot over the past year. We went from kind of doing everything, right? From lending, doing our own listings, doing our own wholesales, doing our own purchases, trying to just figure out how to do it on our own. I think one thing that we did really well this year was find the right strategic partners in different verticals. So for listings, we got the best guy in Essex County, hands down, Brendan Da Silva. We partner with him, and at this point he's closing 10, 15 listings every single month, like clockwork. We used to do loans, and it would be Eric pulling his hair out every day trying to figure it out, and he's the best closer in the business, but he was stretching himself too thin. So we partnered with an absolute animal, Veronique Hutt, and now we're probably producing 10, 15 deals a month on that end as well.
Yeah, we're back. I mean, we definitely took I think everybody did. Kind of going into how COVID affected us, not to get off track, but one of the biggest hurdles was the fact that the secondary market that was buying these fix and flip loans, the rental loans, just stopped buying, right? Like that was, I think that was for everybody across the board. If you're a real estate investor, you know what that means. But if you don't, it basically, the lenders that are lending money to the investors, they most of the time don't keep these loans on their books. So they'll take that loan, they'll sell it off to the secondary market. And when the secondary market stops buying, that basically means all the money dries up, right? There's no more money to be lent out to investors unless you have a real private guy that's keeping the money on their books. But even those guys were scared. I think we were all kind of scared. So
I remember. Kind of got lucky because we closed four of my loans together.
Right before.
Like in January, and then come March, COVID hit.
Yep. And I had tons of deals in the pipeline that just died, and it was like banging my head against the wall for like 4 months there, where people were calling like, how do we move this forward? I'm like, look, I'm trying everything I can do, but there's almost nothing I can do. And so that really affected the lending side. I mean, going from 15, 20 deals a month down to like 1 or 2 a month is really what happened to us. And then, as you can imagine, right, on the wholesale side, the same was true because, all these guys, most of them aren't really cash, buyers. And they're most of the time using investor money or lending, and they couldn't get access to capital.
Right.
So it was a culmination of no access to capital and then just straight fear, right? Because nobody knew. Nobody had any idea. I mean, is this going to be 08, 09 all over again? We see massive crashes, memorandum on evictions, and where we do business, right? You have tenants. It's not like Florida where you have owner occupants, single families, or whatever. You're dealing with tenants, and you're dealing with tenants just not paying, and there's nothing you can do, right? And I'm sure you guys, right? You guys have. How did your units fare in that?
So for me, I got pretty lucky. I only had one person so I have 10 units.
Mm-hmm.
So only one person didn't really, like he didn't keep up.
Yeah.
But he kept paying.
Yeah.
But he was always behind.
Right.
Because he was actually an aircraft mechanic. So,
wow.
So, you know, they were cutting his hours. He was getting paid weekly, and then all of a sudden they said, "Hey, we're gonna change it to bi-weekly." So, you know, so he used to be able to accumulate the money and pay me.
Right.
And then now he's like, "Hey, listen, I can't save up because by the time I get paid, it's like the 10th,
Right.
you know, and it's past the due date, you know." So he kind of explained it to me. I was like, "All right, it's fine. I'm not gonna basically charge you a late fee because, you know, I don't want the guy like against me,
Right.
right?" So I said, "It's fine, you know, pay me late. I'm not gonna charge you a late fee, but try to catch up if you can. You know, I understand." But happy, you know, story is he actually got a job somewhere else at a different company.
Wow.
And then he got a real nice signing bonus. He ended up paying me 3 months in advance.
Wow.
You know?
That's great.
So yeah, so we really didn't have any issues. We do have one tenant that kind of like,
Yeah. Well,
So I'll let John
yeah.
have that.
Yeah, so I guess I'm lucky but unlucky at the same time, if that makes sense. Because for this month, I don't know what it is. I guess it's because it's Christmas month. But like probably in total of the 12 units, all the tenants owe me about $8,000 roughly. But that's so with one of the tenants, the one, it's a Belleville 2-family that Joey and I are partnered in. This tenant always, like every month since COVID hit, probably pays around the 20th or so. And, you know, like, he's...
You're supposed to pay on the first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, but like, you know, obviously they're, you know, you can't really evict someone unless they're, you know, some certain ways. But the thing is, he's a total dick.
Yeah.
But his roommate is like one of the best guys I know. Like, dude got COVID this maybe like around Thanksgiving, and he texted me like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be late for the first. I get paid on the 3rd, and from him, so his half. So like, you know, it's like that. This guy is a good guy, but this guy's a dick.
Wow.
So I don't know, like, what to really do in that situation.
Sure.
And just let it ride for now.
Yeah, and there's only so much you can do, right? And
Yeah, that's the thing about this period, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you really can't evict them, but at the same time, like there's one good person and then there's a jerk.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't want to hurt the good guy.
Right.
You know.
It's weird, and not to use the word, but like you went from having the leverage to having zero leverage,
Right.
and now you're at the
Exactly.
whim of these tenants. We have one that we bought in Jersey City. One unit was vacant, the other was occupied. The guy didn't want to pay anything. I mean, we went in. They understood the situation, knowing you don't have to pay. We haven't paid. We haven't been paying. They had 4 bedrooms and 2 baths in Jersey City, paying $0. Like they knew how good of a deal they had, and we wanted to renovate the whole thing. And so David goes in there, and I think David offered him like $8,000.
No, that was Randy. I saved that deal. $8,000. I made it 4 at the end.
Well, we ended up getting away with paying first month security at the new spot, which was $1,500, and then half of their first month's rent. So we got out of it like $2,300. But the hoops we jumped through, you did all right. Well, come on.
The credit goes to you.
Like I talking to the son, bringing the son to the new unit, walking him through the list,
Oh my God.
having them inspect the property, turning on the faucets, like this is what you got to do, and like we really had a heart to heart with the kid. He's like, I want to get into real estate too, and yeah, he was supposed to put up half of the rent.
Everybody wants to get into real estate.
It's crazy. He was supposed to put up half the rent, and he didn't have the cash or whatever, the check didn't deposit. So I put up the whole month's rent, and I'm like, I'm never gonna get that $750 back.
Did you get it back?
We ended up getting it back.
Really?
The kid gave us the money back. He didn't have to. So I mean, I kind of think it goes to show at the end of the day, it is like it's still a people business. Like it's people, right?
Yeah.
And we had no recourse, no nothing. I was just like, hopefully I get that back.
Yeah, no, that actually reminds me of a 3 unit that Brandon actually helped me sell in Bloomfield. Like, I think all the leases were ending in October or something like that, and one of the tenants moved out. The other tenants, they both came from like the soda program. So one of them, they paid their rent, the other one didn't, and basically I kept hounding him until closing, and then afterward I was just like, you know what, like it was like $1,600. I just let it go, because it's not worth it at that point.
There's just nothing you can do. But yeah, I think everybody went through that a little bit, and so we went from making like $300K a month to like $30K a month in COVID, and it was just like it was crazy. But I gotta say, like,
you should probably mention you have a lot of expenses too.
We definitely do, and for us, like, granted, I think the PPP loan did exactly what it was supposed to do. We kept all of our employees. We didn't lay off anyone. We actually, like, you have to spend it all or else you gotta pay it back. So we actually gave people bonuses, but like it was like we were like kind of trying to figure out, like, how do we keep these guys busy?
Eric, we got 7 days to spend the money. Let's go.
Let's figure it out. And we were like trying to keep these guys busy. Like, it was SOPs, right? That was our thing.
Standard operating procedures.
So we were like building out guidelines on like, this is how the business runs, and like these are the steps. And SOP on how to build an SOP.
No, I'm serious.
I remember we had a conversation about that on one time. You're like, hey, what's your SOP on, I think it was like renovations or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a dirty word now. We don't talk about SOP.
We don't do that.
But yeah, man, it was wild time. I mean, we were able to keep the people that we could, and I gotta say, like, I think the government loan did what it was supposed to do, at least for us.
Yeah,
at least for us.
Definitely.
Yeah, it also, I was fortunate. I was able to get the PPP loan as well, so it definitely helped me as well, because we took on a construction standpoint, we took 2.5 months off. At least my crew, but I had subcontractors still working. So that kept a little bit of income still flowing. Yeah. But it helped me a lot also.
Would you say now you're back to where you were pre-COVID?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I would say I'm doing better now than before COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
Funny thing, I would definitely agree. Like, it's weird. COVID was kind of like a catalyst that like sprung my business like dramatically up.
That's great.
Like, but obviously those like 2-3 months where no one really knew too much, like nothing was going on, absolutely nothing.
It was transactions were at a standstill. It just was not happening.
For sure. I mean, I remember at that time I was trying to, like Eric was saying earlier, I was trying to get a loan to to wholesale a property, right? So I was trying to get a loan from a different lender. And
what's going on with that, Joey? You come here, you disrespect us like this. This is unbelievable.
Well, no. It sounds like they didn't get the loan done. So
that's why.
We didn't get it done. So we didn't get it done. So it took a while. They kept changing the terms. So we started the process before COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then like because the closing date was so far away, so we got it under contract around like early February, but the closing date was like end of April.
Right.
So because the guys, his kids were still going to school, and they were moving down to like Maryland or something like that.
Okay.
So that's why they needed that extra time.
Gotcha.
But they wanted to be secure in that they have a buyer.
Right.
And it wasn't a big loan. That was the crazy thing. It was like $135,000.
Oh wow.
Zero renovation.
Very small.
And
great deal.
Yeah. In the end, we ended up getting a private lender, closed on it at $100K, and put it back on the market. Sold at $150.
You got a price reduction?
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure. Because at the beginning,
You had to.
Yeah, at the beginning, everybody was scared.
Yeah.
I was like, look,
I don't even know
from this deal.
I don't get it for 100. I'm done.
Because if
What
I
time is
actually
this?
closed at 135, I wouldn't have made any money.
Sure.
Yeah. So
What town? So late on.
Garwood.
Garwood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like one of the smallest house in Garwood.
Yeah, it's small.
It was a 2-bed, 1-bath house.
No driveway.
Wow.
No driveway. Yeah.
It's like South Jersey, Garwood.
No, Garwood is right next to like Westfield, Cranford.
How do you get anything in North Jersey for $100K? It's crazy.
We got a 2-bed, 1-bath, 993 square feet in Maplewood that's going for like $275.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
That's nuts.
But before we get off, I think we're going on like such a huge tangent.
Yeah.
So let's
Bring us back. Bring us back. Yeah.
Bringing everyone back. After COVID, what were the lessons you learned from it, and how did they help you grow your business to where you are now? And I guess explain a little bit about where you are now.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, kind of going back. I mean, I think we learned a lot of lessons this year, but it was for me. It's really just. I mean, it's partnering, having the right partners in place to do the right things, right? Joey, you're a contractor, right? You've been doing construction for how many years?
17.
17 years. You're the right person to partner with when it comes to construction. We got a guy named Clark Moynihan. This guy, monster construction guy. We partner with him for construction. And it's really about finding the right partners to do the right things, right? Like the Silva team, there's no person in Newark that sold more properties than him. And he's got multiple buyer leads on Zillow. He basically runs Newark, Zillow, Realtor.com. There's nobody in Newark that's going to sell a property faster. That's guaranteed. That's guaranteed. He puts a guarantee behind it. So it's about finding the right partners. And I know, when you're getting into real estate, they say, oh, you need to have the right lawyer. You need to have the right title company. And that's something that doesn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. But over failures and experiences working with the wrong people, you eventually find the right people.
Of course.
So using that, I think we've really been able to focus on what we're good at, which is like data infrastructure, the right segment, like just really understanding data, marketing, and doing what we do best is lead generation, locking up deals, slinging deals, and it's allowed us to focus and grow rapidly.
I think the team is super important. The people that we've managed to keep through this time are super loyal. I think multiple revenue streams also super important. Like wholesaling died, like it was dead for 3 months there. I mean, that was our bread and butter, but we still had income coming in from the listing stuff. The few loans that we were closing. So I think multiple revenue streams. You have rental income that was still being paid. So that's huge. That's huge because you never know what can happen. Yeah. And beyond that, like just keeping a game face, right? Like we had to project this sense of confidence to everybody that like, look, this is gonna be okay. We're gonna figure it out. Trying to see the opportunity in everything and take advantage of it. There's a ton of people that probably went out of business during this. I'm sure tons of wholesale companies. I mean, how many wholesale companies like these guys, right? Like
so many.
Yeah, there's so many, and I'm sure these guys are out of the game now. And so like just taking advantage of like, okay, this is an opportunity for us. Let's narrow down our systems. Let's pin down our softwares. Let's get everybody's role revised and get everybody on the same page. So when the eventuality is that we do get out of this, which I think everybody knew at some point we would turn a corner, that we're gonna hit the ground running, and that's exactly what we did. We 2 months ago, I would say we finally got back to where we were pre-COVID, and now we're ahead of that. So. I think the team and just remaining positive was a huge thing, and keeping your game face on and just grinding it out. Like we were just grinding it out, just finding work to do, just out of literally thin air. Like, oh, we're gonna work on it. We were like putting out. We were working on Instagram videos. Like, oh, Instagram's the thing. We're gonna work on Instagram content. Like. Does nothing for us, but we're gonna get good at it now. But yeah, man, and then just having loyal people and treating them right, and I think that was huge too. So
yeah, at one point we were like, before we let anyone go, we're gonna stop paying ourselves.
Yeah, that was the plan. That was the conversation we had. I mean, we weren't losing, like hemorrhaging money, but we were not making money by any means. But we're back, and I think just having that confidence that no matter what hits us now, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. It's not gonna stop us. Like, let's look for opportunities in this stuff. I mean, there was opportunity if you bought stocks, right, in after in March, like you made 600% of your money or whatever if you levered up. Like there was opportunity, right? It was just a matter of finding it. So
yeah, absolutely. Actually, believe it or not, one of my friends made $4 million off Tesla from.
Holy moly!
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because he's like a Marine Corps vet too.
Wow.
And he was telling me about it. I didn't listen.
Oh, Johnny.
I know.
Oh no.
You know. You know, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
You can't really dwell on it.
right,
So.
right.
Yeah, but those type of opportunities don't really come around that often,
Right.
And you don't. So the issue is that you don't even know it's an opportunity,
Right.
How do you know that Tesla is gonna go up like 500, 600% this year, right? Who knew that? Nobody knew. I don't think Elon knew. Anybody knew.
No.
Right. So you know it's not something you can like, okay, here, let me put $10,000 into Tesla, and it becomes, this crazy number. No,
It's like winning a scratch off, right? You took a chance. I mean, unless you had some like real research behind it, or you do, and if you did, more power to you. But otherwise, you're like, yeah, just Tesla, sure. But like to me, that kind of like person isn't as impressive as the guy that. Self-made maybe took 4 or 5, 10 years to get that $4 million, right? And built like a legitimate. Because he's not. How is he going to ever replicate that, right? That's kind of.
Exactly. That's kind of how I feel, because I was in the financial business before getting into construction and all that stuff, and I've seen people like double their money in a year. At that time. So it was like 1999, 2000.
Right.
I had a couple of clients that were nurses, and they had the 401k account, and I used to take their 401k. Well, not really their 401, it's their IRA.
Right.
To be more technical, I took their IRA and moved it to my company. Okay. And when they moved that account to my company, our company, basically like it went from 80,000 to 150,000, within a year. And that person was like, oh my God, it took me like 20 years to accumulate this money, and in 1 year you doubled it.
Wow.
So she was like, I'm going to refer all my friends to you.
Right. Wow.
So I was like, yeah, but did I really do anything? No.
Yeah.
It was the market.
Right.
So but I'm not going to say anything to her.
Right. Give me that money. Give me that money.
Yeah,
bring it in.
Come on, sweetheart.
So, bringing it back a little bit again.
Yeah, we're getting really off
Yeah,
track.
keep going this.
Yeah.
So,
That makes a good conversation, right?
no, of course. So, bringing it back again. So, now what are you guys doing? Like, what's the difference between what was, I guess, our last conversation in North Arlington to today?
Yeah.
Like, I guess, give me some numbers.
Sure. I mean, we're definitely pumping out twice the amount of wholesale volume that we were doing last year.
Yeah.
I think our margins are getting fatter. I mean, it's really coming down to, like, we used to think by addition, right? You add one person, they're going to produce 2 deals a month, or just some arbitrary number I'm throwing out there.
Yeah.
We said hire. So we went on this massive hiring spree. I think we hired like 12 people. We're like, let's blow it up. Let's go, and with no understanding of truly our KPIs, right? Understanding the saturation of our data, understanding how many, really understanding your numbers from a marketing, call center, texting. There was no infrastructure set up. We just said, let's go. It's worked before. Let's keep going. And we failed super hard, heavy. We got burned. I would say we lost 6 figures all day long because of that stupid. I mean, we like to take big risks. That's why we're here right now.
Take a chance. Yeah.
What we're doing now, that is just. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. We're really understanding our numbers. Call center. I mean, what should a regular person produce in a day, right? How many hours of talk time should they have? How many calls should they hit? How many leads should they produce? How many live transfers should one person do? Keeping track of those metrics and going over it day over day over day. Like, how many contracts should you send to get one, right? What percent of those contracts that you get executed actually get out of attorney review? of those deals, how many end up getting sold? How long does it take to get that, all those steps? Understanding your numbers like a science. And that's really what we've been doing. And from a staff of, we probably cut our staff from that experiment, probably lost like about 70% of our like sales staff, acquisition staff, but we're pumping out more deals. Like this week alone, we locked up seven contracts. We put 7 deals under contract, and we might end up doing another one. I got another one I'm going to in a little bit after this podcast, so hopefully it's number 8. But it really comes down to understanding your numbers, building the right sales infrastructure, because that's really what it is.
Yeah, I think to piggyback on that is we built a scalable platform now that we know our numbers, and that'll allow us to enter new markets seamlessly, bring on new partners. I mean, we can even enter different businesses with our lead generation platform. So, you know, it works for lending, right? The lead generation platform. We could go into solar, or, you know, kind of, there's a lot of different options, mortgages, anything.
Security.
And we have people asking us. We actually have someone that's asking us they do sale leaseback on equipment, like office equipment. So they reach out to business owners, and then they sale leaseback. It's like really interesting. It's like real estate, and they want us to generate leads, and we get a percentage of that. I don't know if these are things that we're going to explore, but it goes to show that the platform itself is strong. Mm-hmm. And since the platform is strong, it'll allow us. We did also pre-COVID try to enter Tampa.
Yeah,
that was our next move. We're going to enter Tampa, and then COVID happened, and we're like, let's dial this thing back. Like, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
But we will get back there, and we will enter. You know, we're looking at Atlanta, we're looking at Austin, Texas, we're looking at Raleigh, North Carolina. But I think we jumped the gun, and you know, me and David are a little like, let's fucking do it, baby.
Let's go.
I don't know if I should curse. I'm sorry, but we just, you know, we aren't afraid to try. We're not afraid to try.
Yeah,
we're not afraid to try. We gave it a shot. The ball size up for discussion. Yeah, man. So like now I feel really confident.
Absolutely.
Moving into Q1 next year that, you know, whatever I was saying, we can make data-driven decisions.
Yep.
Instead of just, you know, that's really where it's at. I mean, look at Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. These guys, they don't do anything without the data.
Yeah.
It's all comes back to data, and you know, business intuition can take you so far, but I think at the end of the day, you need
to have
it takes time. Like, you can't just start. I mean, when we first started, we had one VA calling off of Skype, one number at a time. Can you imagine on her keyboard?
I can imagine.
And
that's actually kind of what's happening.
and it works.
Okay, so let me take notes now.
and it works, right? If you have a person that you trust, and you're motivating them, and you're training them, and you're investing in them, they're going to perform. Right? If you don't give them the time of day, they're not gonna, you gotta sell that vision.
Right.
Who are we now, and what are we gonna be? We're gonna be the biggest, baddest motherfuckers on this planet, right? And if you could sell that vision, they'll buy in, no matter how shitty the systems are, truly. But yeah, we started with Skype. And then a year later, we're like, oh, we're bad, we're motherfucking gangsters, we're pumping leads out now. And then we look back, we're like, we have no data to make, like, data-driven decisions. Yeah. Now we're looking at 2 years later, and we're like, wow, we'll finally have the solid foundation to actually hire the wave of new hires. So at this point, I was just doing it right before this interview. We're lining up. We're going to hire 6 new acquisition guys. So if you're watching this and you're a salesperson and you want to make that 6-figure money, let me know. Let me know.
You gotta be a winner. You gotta want to win.
You gotta want it bad. We got guys in here on Saturdays. We're not forcing you on Saturday. Kind of are. Kind of forcing you to be here on Saturday, but
they want to be here.
They want to be here because you're going to win. You're going to win on Saturday, right? Data shows that on Saturday, you're going to make more money. So if you're 100% commission driven,
it's a sales organization.
You got to want it.
In sales, you know, Saturday is the money day. I mean,
right.
Across the board. So these guys want it, and we really, really do want, we want talent. we were taking whatever we could get for a long time.
Right.
And no offense to anybody else that's been here, isn't here, but moving forward, it's like we're not what we were in North Arlington, right? We're not in a shoebox anymore. Like we can get real talent, and you're only as strong as the people around
Absolutely.
you. I mean, me and David, I'll be the first. I don't know shit about shit. I just know people that know shit about shit.
Yeah.
So it's all about the people, the relationships, and we have some of the best people in this company. The guy Randy, he's going to run this company someday. Sam, who leads acquisitions, nobody better at what they do than him. And and he came in, took a managerial role, and he's done more than I think he even ever expected, from hiring to training to firing. And I wouldn't want anybody else on our team. So I think moving forward, we just want to keep getting constant inflow of winners and strong candidates and good people to keep growing this thing.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So this is a hiring video.
If y'all want a job today, let me know. 201.
We don't have to sell
973.
something. We got to sell something. All we know is how to sell.
Look, truthfully, we are like very well positioned. I could confidently every Thursday to go over our goals.
PM or PM?
PM.
Yep.
To go over our goals, where we are with our goals for the quarter. Every week to go over our numbers, right? And the last one, I left. Everyone actually went out to a nice, beautiful dinner. I ended up going to Tiger Showman's. I'm committed. We're going to get that work. Anyway, I left that meeting and I was like, oh my God, we are going to blow the fuck up. We're going to take over this world. And it's hard to feel like that sometimes when life punches you in the face so many times, but never felt more confident with where we are right now as far as just overall staff, team, everything. And it really boils down to having the Randys, the Sams, the Paulos, the guys that are here willing to stay as late as it takes, sacrifice, social life, whatever it takes to take it to the next level, right? You need guys to buy into the vision and want to grow with the company.
That's awesome. I mean, you definitely need to have a good team, but also having good leadership too, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are becoming good leaders, right?
Working on it still.
Just out of curiosity, last time we spoke in North Arlington, I know you didn't have like half the staff here, but did you have like that Sam and...
We had Sam.
Okay. Yeah, just Sam.
I think at that point we had 5 or 6 employees, 7 or 8. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it was like 10. And then we had some overseas. Probably had like 13 to 15 employees back then. Probably sitting around between like all of our verticals, we probably have like 40 at this point.
But a lot of that's overseas.
Yeah.
It's granted, right?
Yeah.
To piggyback on what you said about leadership, I think one thing that really I've learned this year is consistency is the key. And it's really hard to be consistent especially when we're all working virtual and you're waking up and your bed's right there and your computer's right there. And it's like, which one do I want to do? The consistency, man, is you got to bring it every single day, because not every day is going to be
right.
Not every week you're going to lock up 7-8 contracts.
Right.
There's going to be weeks where you get 0.
Yeah.
But man, from a leadership perspective, I think that's the biggest thing you can do is just show up every single day, be the same person, bring the same level of intensity, and it's really a lot more difficult than it sounds.
It's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
It's something that I definitely struggle with. I'm an amped up guy, like you guys. Obviously, I'm kind of crazy, and when people follow suit. Right? We noticed, like we were texting last night, we were like, man, like how do we get better? How do we upgrade the level of quality, the culture, the intensity that everybody brings every day, right? And so we were like, we were thinking about our flaws, our own flaws. And it really boiled down to the fact that when we slow down and people don't see that we're the hardest working motherfuckers in the room at all times, they think it's okay to slow down. It becomes a lackadaisical culture. So as leaders, as owners, whatever it takes, you got to come up, drink 5 cups of coffee. I don't care. I do 150 milligrams of coffee every morning. I come in, I'm like, let's go, Money Monday, And you got to bring that energy, because if not, man, they will start to lose. They'll start to lose the motivation, but they'll start to lose faith in the leadership and how far the company's actually going to go.
And we don't, our goal isn't to be like best wholesale real estate company. And It's not. We have bigger aspirations. I mean, we're moving towards private equity. We are now funding deals ourselves. We're lending our own money. We're table funding. We're selling off loans. We have a partnership in the works to securitize loans, which would bring our cost of capital way down. So like we're trying to get to that next level,
Absolutely.
which is private equity, right? And start doing bigger deals and no one's gonna believe in that vision unless you believe it yourself. Right?
Absolutely.
So,
It all has to come from you.
Preach.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So
Cool project that we're doing right now. We just going back to private equity, cool project that we just locked up. It's a 2-acre land development site in Newark. Great location, heavy traffic, and this particular location is perfect for self-storage development. So we partnered up with one of the most seasoned self-storage operators in Jersey, and right now we're almost at the finish line. We're under contract. We're at the finish line of hitting ground of a 100,000 square foot self-storage facility. So it's like you really can do whatever you want as long as you have the vision and the right people in your life.
yeah, we would that wouldn't have even been like a twinkle in our eye if it wasn't for David's connections in private equity. So yeah, I think that's been a common theme is the people, man. People. We don't know how to do that. Like,
How do I even know? Where do I even begin? You know, you gotta lock it up. How do you lock it up? I'm like, Mike, can you put me on the email chains? I'm trying to learn.
Yeah. So now we're a partner in this self-storage deal that, like, again, without the people, it wouldn't be anything.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, let me know about that.
We're on.
We want to do more of that.
Yeah,
so, and I don't know who's going to see this, but if you have opportunities like that,
Bring them over here.
bring them over.
Absolutely.
We'll see what we can structure. And like I said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So that's it.
It
It
truly
definitely
is.
is.
It
Right.
truly is.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's interesting, right? I was talking with Joey. I was talking with a lot of contractors, and you walk into a property and it's the same thing. They go boom, boom, boom. This needs done. Bop, bop, bop. This is how much it's going to cost. I had the same exact conversation with the guy for the self-storage place. Walk in, he's going boop, 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 and it sounded like relatively the exact same conversation that you're having for a fix and flip single family deal, but just way bigger numbers. Right? Same thing, same concept. It's real estate purchasing. It's similar contracts, similar negotiations. It's just bigger numbers, right?
Exactly.
So I guess that kind of segues like, where do we want to be? What are we trying to do? What are opportunities that we're seeing in the future? Going into 2021, we want to start syndicating larger deals. Self-storage, larger multifamily. It's kind of a new vertical, and when we're looking to bring on the right person for this particular role to kind of head this division. Another thing that we're just starting to do now that we're finding a lot of opportunity in is deals that really don't make sense for you to acquire yourself, but when you get creative and doing subject twos, lease options, you could really achieve 100%, 200% return on your capital, right? So just locked up a deal today. Come on, closers close, baby. Locked up a deal today right before this, and the numbers don't work, right? It's a the guy wants $420,000 for this 3-family new construction in Newark. Looks beautiful, don't get me wrong. It needs about 20K reno, tenants are decent, right? 20K reno, and the resale is probably around 520, right? Now, in any world, you would be like, ugh, this is a horrible deal, right? And it kind of needs a little work. It's not going to be a great listing. Past that, right? Don't want to touch it with a...
Lucky to break even.
But we went in there and we're like, and it's really, again, people, right? I was talking with someone over the weekend. Eric ended up talking with a master. We went to Tampa this weekend, ended up meeting a master at this. Like, all he does for a living.
He does basically he partners with the seller. So, the seller might not be in a huge rush to sell their property, but it needs some renovation. They want to get top dollar, or they want, they're reasonable, but they're not going to sell 65 cents or whatever.
Even 75, it's 80 cents on the dollar deals, right?
Yeah, so he partners with them and says, okay, let's JV. I'll do the reno. He's not putting any money out of pocket for the purchase. He's just doing the renovation, small reno, 10, 15 grand. I mean, that's closing costs, right? Like 10, 15 grand.
Standard, yeah.
And so he's funding the reno and then sells it. Right. And then the seller gets their bottom price, whatever they agreed to, and he gets everything on top. So very low risk, I mean, you're risking your renovation costs, right?
Right.
Actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because we had another guest on the podcast, Ruben Acosta. The name's slipping my mind, but Ruben was mentioning that he used to do similar things back in the day.
Wow.
Bro, yeah, I mean, it's incredible. This like, we can't believe we used to listen to it in Bigger Pockets, Bigger Pockets podcast, like, and you read these creative finance books and they're like, do this and that, right? But you really don't know until you meet the right person and they slap you in the face with the fact that they're making ridiculous money doing it and they actually take the time to teach you, right? So this deal is going to be $20,000 outlay of capital, probably going to have another 20 because so the way we structured the deal was we give you $2,500 up front. The equity portion of the deal, he's got a $360,000 mortgage. He wants $420, so he would have ended up making $60 at a $420 purchase price, right? So he would have made $60,000 profit. And I went to the guy. I said, "Listen, there's no margin of safety here. This is a very risky deal. The maximum we could pay you is $380 on this deal, cash. We could pay you today. We'll get this in your pocket. But if you want top dollar for this property, you want $420, which you're not going to get with a realtor, anybody. You're not going to get that with anybody today. If you want that money, you're going to have to wait 6 to 9 months. And I wait, and then he goes, "What do you mean?" And then you could pitch that. Look, there's a lot of pros that come with this, right? We're gonna take over your mortgage payments, your taxes, your insurance, right? We're gonna take not only that, we're gonna take all your liabilities. You don't have to deal with these tenants no more, right? This renovation, what happens if you bring a contractor in here who screws you? Now you're down $20,000.
He doesn't know Joey Chan.
He doesn't know Joey?
Come
on, he's from New York. So we come in, we pitch the proposal, and we say it's very simple. This is a perfect opportunity for guys like you who want, quite frankly, too much money for a property. And it's very easy. If you say it the right way, it's a very easy sale. I'm going to get you $420. All you got to do is, I'll sign a promissory note. I'm going to pay you that money. Literally, we were just taught this Friday at 10:30, right? So this guy that Eric met at the bar, right? Anyway, that guy is coming now. We're going to fly him out here. We're going to have him train our guys on creative financing, right? And that right there, from what I'm projecting, is going to lead to an additional 30% deal flow. I mean, it's going to be a larger outlay of capital than obviously wholesaling, but the returns are there. I mean, check this deal. It's $420 plus 20, another 10, 20 in closing costs, right? Holding costs. Yeah. You're all in around 40 grand. So your cost basis is $460 right after realtor commissions. You sell it for $520. Say, for example, you only sell it for $5. You're still making $40K net profit. Yeah. You laid out 40, you make 40. I'll take that all day, 100% in 3 to 6 months. Annualize that 200%. Come on, who's giving you that? Who is giving you that money? Nobody. And so, these are things that, I mean, if it comes with the right people, it comes with the right partners, it comes with,
Yeah, but also you gotta understand how to structure it,
right?
What to do. I mean, it's great that everybody understands the concept, right? How do they actually? What's the paperwork? What's the
exactly.
Who I use for the contract?
Right.
So there's a lot more that goes to it,
Exactly.
And then, by the way, it was Lenny Hernandez.
Thank you.
From Flipping and Jerry.
I just met him.
Yeah, I saw you were at their office.
Pretty interesting. Right? Yeah.
So Lenny was telling us exactly that. He was doing this 15 years ago.
He's still doing it?
I don't think he's still doing it. From what from our interview.
Yeah, I think from a liability standpoint, he said there was an issue, but
liability.
But he was doing multi-families. He was doing mostly multi-families.
Huh.
So where it was not owner occupied.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was strictly tenant occupied multi-families. So he was coming in. And these were like the 80 to 90% ARV properties.
That's what this is,
Yeah, precisely.
That's exactly what you're talking about.
This is exactly what,
So, so I've already got that concept in my head. Haven't put it to use because haven't gotten any homeowners to agree to it.
And I tried to pitch this before.
Yeah.
I swear, I've tried my whole, because I knew it. And I was like, have you ever heard of creative financing or seller financing? And they're like, nah, that sounds really gross. It doesn't sound attractive at all.
Yeah,
but
you got to package it up different. You got to wrap a bow, make it look like a Christmas present.
Look at what I'm doing for you. And truthfully, it is an unbelievable opportunity for these sellers. They are asking too much for their property. Yeah. And I'm getting it for you. You're welcome. 5-star review, please. Come on. It is the best deal. You got to pitch it the right way.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all in the initial pitch.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who actually is doing this at this very moment. He's got the house on the market right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Yeah, you know who it is.
Onish.
Yeah, Onish Brown.
Okay. Sounds like a good guy.
So he's he's a wholesaler, and this is his first fix and flip. Basically,
but it's not even really.
And that's how he got the deal.
Wow.
So he basically purchased this subject to put it all together. He put out the renovation money. And he hired his own crew. His dad helped out. His dad is also not really. He works for a construction company, so he knew how to do the actual work.
Right.
And he hired a couple guys, came in, helped him. And
good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It's on the market now.
Yeah, it's on the market.
Yeah, I hope he does real well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting because we come across probably like one of those a week.
Yeah.
Right?
At least.
Yeah. So
honestly, probably 5 of these a week.
Yeah, and so we can start capitalizing. It'll be another source for us.
It's gonna. We're locking up 5 of these a week. We're gonna need. We have the money to do. Couple of them. But when we start locking up a lot of these deals. Not right now. We don't really like to take money from people, but we'll consider your money maybe. I'm just kidding. There's gonna come a time where we're gonna actually need some money to lock up a lot more of these deals.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If you don't like our deals, you can go to them.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. Yeah. I got really awkward there for a second. Joey and Jonathan made eye contact. He's like, this motherfucker trying to take my people's money.
No. He's looking at me. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like totally blank. What?
No, I'm sorry, guys. We're not taking any of your money.
Anyways,
No.
Give it to these guys. Give it to these guys. And then they can give it to us.
They got great returns on their capital, all right?
The leftover.
maybe we could partner.
That's the annoying investor that calls you.
Yeah, we don't need that.
All jokes aside, we should. What would you say are some maybe audiobooks or books that you guys have
This is the guy for the
read
books.
or listened to this past year that have helped expand your business?
I forget the name of the book, but it was on Blackstone. Steve Schwartzman, I think, is the founder. I read that book, and it's all about how they structure deals and partnerships and different business ventures and different business lines. And we're kind of getting to a point where we have a bunch of different revenue streams. And what really stuck out to me was you need level 10 people to run each line that can be responsible for their own P&L, right? Profit and loss. They can, they're smart enough to think about expenses or the future of the company, the vision, where they want to go, and how to take it.
Right.
And I think that shifted my mindset recently to we need really great people that we can partner with that are going to take responsibility and run stuff for themselves. So even on the flips and stuff that we have going on, partnered with great friend of mine, Clark Moynihan, who has like a $6-7 million, I don't want to talk about his numbers, but he's got a big construction company. We went to high school together. So he's running everything for us, and we don't even get involved. I don't even think about contractor, whatever,
Funny
permits,
story on that.
Nothing.
Hilarious story on this animal, Clark Moynihan Company. Don't give him too much business. I'm just kidding. Okay, anyway. We gotta keep him busy with our stuff. Anyway, great story about this guy. I get a call. So we got a deal. There's a tenant on the first floor. We're doing the reno on the second, right? Okay. Clark says, very serious guy. He's hilarious. He goes, I'm gonna get this done by the 15th. I'm like, okay, Clark, I trust you. And he's like, so now it's like the 13th, and it's like not done yet. We're like normal people, it would take like another week or two. I get a call from the tenant downstairs.
He's doing an entire renovation, soup to nuts, for this entire unit. I think it was in like 10 days he wanted to get it done.
Yeah. I get a call from the tenant at like 1:30 in the morning. I obviously ignored that person. But I wake up, I read the message. He goes, David, this is horrible. I can't sleep at night. Like this, that. This guy has got his people working at 2 o'clock in the morning, ripping the. I mean, he's a savage, right? Whatever it takes, level 10 player, he does not miss a beat, right? And it got done on time, exactly when he said. The guy's a beast. 10 out of 10.
So that's it. We want to get, they only hire level 10 people to run different divisions of their company. And they give them partnership or equity or whatever. Right. And that keeps them motivated. And that seems to be where we're tracking towards. So that's been a really good one for me. I like biographies about people. So I read Sam Zell's book. Sam Zell's like one of the biggest real estate guys ever. Sold his company at a couple billion to Blackstone. That was a really good book. But yeah, man, I just like books about people, to be honest with you.
Biographies, right? Yeah, that's what I hear. You know, I personally don't read much in terms of biographies, but you know, we've had a lot of guests. And they've, you know, a couple of them have definitely suggested, you know, different, like high level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my favorite book of all time is Shoe Dog, which is about Phil Knight.
I was about to say.
Yeah. And just seeing, like, it makes it so tangible just to see where they came from and the struggles they went through it. And you know, there's no overnight success, but to see these guys and their insecurities and their doubts and the struggles and the pain, and it just makes it all like, okay, I'm not the only one, right? Like everybody goes through this shit.
Yeah, I think everybody goes through it, and they're basically in the private moment, right?
Right.
You may not show it when you're out in the, you know, like on the job site. When I'm in the job site, you know, I don't, like, I'm the boss.
Right,
you know?
right.
I'm like, okay, do this. You know, I yell at people, you know, just whatever it takes to get things moving.
Right.
You know, but
King face.
yeah, you gotta have that, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm hanging out with my friends, it's different. You know, we're joking around and stuff, but no, at the job site, no, it's different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I would highly recommend whatever, you know, whatever industry or whatever your role model is. Like for me, I that's my favorite. I could rip through those books. Otherwise, for me, like, I'm not a big reader. I don't love reading, but these books, it's not like reading. You can actually sit there and like, this is cool, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I got a question that I don't think we've ever actually asked anyone. Are you guys in any kind of like high-level masterminds, or are you thinking about joining any?
Yeah, we joined the mastermind this year, going into 2020.
Okay.
So it cost us $20,000 to join, but it's a 7-figure. It's guys. The only way you could get in is if you're clearing 7 figures in revenue. Okay. So we joined this group. I mean,
there's some big dogs in it.
There's some guys that are doing, you know, more than we are, and it's always good to learn from those guys. Being a part of a mastermind like this, it also opens up doors. I mean, we're doing. I mean, we probably did a deal with one of those guys already. Yeah. It gives us access to financing, right? We get 100% financing at very attractive terms. So it's good to be a part. It's always good to surround yourself with winners, right? Like yesterday, Eric and I and you know, we got 3 or 4 guys that are all in their 20s, 30s, young guys, busting their ass 90, 100 hours a week, all making millions of dollars. We get together, we make it a point, we need to get together once a month, eat dinner, figure out, have a good time. It's always have to have a good time, but figure out how to get to the next level. And it's always important to surround yourself with winners. Otherwise, I mean, you show me your friends to show you your future, you know what I mean?
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's called 7-Figure Flipping is the group. There's a few guys you probably, like Tom Deanna's in it, Vince Ho is in it. There's a few other guys, like local guys that are a part of it, but it's been valuable. I mean, absolutely. I think I questioned it for a little bit if it was worth the money, but I would say at this point, definitely worth the money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's good tax write-off too before the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm contemplating on something like that.
Sure.
Because, you know, I was talking to one of our previous guests that he was in a mastermind like that. I think his was like 25,000.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, is it worth something like that? You know, but so my personal issue is that I'm doing too many different businesses. Like I'm not concentrated on one type of business. You know, I'm doing construction. I'm doing restaurant. I'm doing cabinets. Like fix and flip. Doing whole. So no like concentration.
Focus.
Where I'm kind of focused, right? So maybe I wanna once I get those businesses kind of built out a little better, a little more. I want to like focus on one or two a little bit.
Is that the hardest thing in business? Focus?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it
is because you're always chasing the
golden. Yeah.
It's like
it's the shiny object.
We always do. We struggle so much with that. It's very difficult.
Even though you're in construction, I mean not construction, in real estate.
Yeah.
There's so many different avenues in real estate, right?
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, like you were saying, you wanted to do syndication, you want to do this and this and this, you know. So, I mean, I did that myself. So back in 2010, I was strictly doing construction, nothing else, right?
Right.
I was doing, like 10 editions a year, you know. And then I slowed down. I said, I don't want to do this many. It's too crazy. Right? Because all I was doing was I was paying my guys, but I never got paid.
Right.
You know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut this down, and then started a lumber yard with my friends, which was the worst thing to do.
Horrible idea, Joey.
Yeah.
Never partner with friends.
Exactly. So that's where I was like, okay, let me go a different route because I thought it would be easier because we had friends that were in the lumberyard business and they were doing very well.
Wow.
They were like opening up their second lumberyard, but it was location too. Right? They were in like Flushing, New York versus us in Jersey City on a main street, and it was super busy and
hard to get out.
So it was like at that point it started like going to this business, that business, so I lost focus.
Right.
And so basically I sold off the lumberyard and I put my head back into just doing construction. Until 2017, then started going into real estate again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my story.
I think everybody struggles with that to some extent.
It's
what's the Steve Jobs quote? It's like I'm more proud of the opportunities that we didn't take than the ones that we did. So I feel like every entrepreneur is going to struggle with that to some extent, and we definitely are no different than. We're definitely no different, but
Eric, speaking of advice, what's the best piece of advice you guys got this year?
The best piece of advice. That's hard. I mean, I think it's just for me was remaining positive in time of adversity. That was, I mean, there was days like David called me like, dude, this is rough, and I'm like, come on, bro, you got it. And then like same thing, I was like, dude, I don't want to get up today. He's like, bro, come on, we got this. We're gonna get through this. And this was the first real, like, I've had other businesses and stuff, but this was the first real time where it was other people's livelihoods at stake. Yeah. And that for me was stressful, knowing that there's mouths to feed, kids, mothers, families, brothers, daughters. It was like, wow, if we don't get through this, like these people aren't gonna have jobs. Yeah. And we just kept trucking and came out the other side. So that for me is, the times are never as bad as they seem, and just try to stay positive.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What about you, David?
I guess this is something that I struggle with, and something that I'm trying to overcome right now. When you get to a certain point, I guess a certain point in your career, and like you got your own business, whatever it is, right? You don't necessarily really have to work hard. You don't, right? You need to work, but you really don't have to. Like if you own a couple rentals, don't have to. Bills are paid, you're good, right? But like it's good to be around people that like slap you in the face. Like,
I'll do that.
He slaps me in the face.
Line up, baby, come on.
So Joey does that for me because like I know it's funny. Like I feel like my fiance and I we're in a good place where like financially we're pretty comfortable. Right. Where it's like, do I even have to work today? Right. Type of thing. Yep. And then I talked to Joey and he's like, man, with these 3 kids, my expenses are this much a month,
Right.
and that's like triple, almost quadruple how much cash flow I make or something, and
Right.
I'm like, okay, that motivates me more to be like,
Right.
okay, I want to give the best for my future children too.
Absolutely.
So,
And it's like when you first start, I mean, it really comes down to having like a big why, you know. It can't be like, oh, I just want to retire. Like, you can, your why could be different, right? But for me, like, I can never, I would not be able to wake up in the morning with like just with a regular why, right? I believe that if you really want to achieve greatness, your why's got to be just as big, right? You got to want to change the world. You got to want to make a difference. You got to have a big why. And if you have that why and you like really put on that music in the morning when you wake up, you're like, we're gonna have a good day. We're gonna go after it. And if you have that why and you keep pushing that why and remind yourself, man, you could work, like I said, you could work 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 hours a day. And that's what it takes if you want greatness, right? So don't come into real estate, the newbie guys, don't come into real estate and saying, oh, like, I'm gonna work 8 hours a day and get to where I want to get, because that's not true. You're gonna have to bust your ass for a couple of years. Hard. You're not working a 9 to 5. You're working your ass off to get to where you want to be. And when you get to where you want to be, you got to set that new goal, because then you're just going to be a lazy motherfucker. And honestly, that's not fulfilling in life. I don't know. It's a little scattered advice, but that's probably the best thing that I've learned this year, is that you just got to constantly get after it, set bigger goals.
definitely.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, when I came in here today, I was telling David the same thing. I was like, I feel kind of lazy, you know, because I don't know.
Because you
maybe
can.
it's the weather. You know? I don't know what the real reason is.
Yeah.
You know, like bills are paid. Thank God, you know, and you got a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Right.
You know, things are happening. So, you know, I mean, I think the past month, before John went down to Brazil, was really, really busy. You know, I was out at 7 in the morning, didn't get home till like 8 or 9 p.m. every day, just running, doing stuff. You know, like going here, you know, going to a job site, looking at houses, doing this, doing that, all kinds of stuff. You know, so, and then now, like, this was like before Thanksgiving, you know, but now things have kind of like wind down a little bit. Thank God. Yeah. And now it's like kind of like relaxed.
These are the times.
But is it?
But this is the time.
Because if you're like me, right, when I'm like not busy, I start getting like, what's going on? Like,
this is why it's good to have this guy around. Because you could feel like, I walk in a room, I walk in the office, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it. We got 3 deals today. Let's go. Right? I'm happy. We sit down. Eric's like, I'm like, oh, is everything all right, Eric? He goes, it's a weak ass fucking culture. Everyone's fucking, let's go. What the fuck's wrong with you? And it's a slap in the face reminder that, like, we are not great. We're not good. We are just getting started.
Right.
And we got bigger. We got to set the bar higher and higher and higher if we want to be the best. And that's why you really need to surround yourself with good people, because it's easy, right? Now you got this time gap right now where things slow down, right? You don't need to go ham. But imagine you went ham right now, same level of effort, but growing your business, creating lead gen, creating systems. This time, right now, this slow period could propel you massively, right? Or save you time so you don't have to go through that drag period again. Yeah. The constant consistency, right, of just getting after it every single day, Monday through Sunday, whatever it takes. I ain't no motherfucking bitch. I'm the hardest motherfucker in the room, right? David Goggins, the Rock mentality. No one's gonna outwork me. Like, that mentality, I don't know. It's just so fulfilling.
how do you guys like motivate yourself?
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
I'm pretty self-motivated, so I don't need to be like rah rah. Let's do this.
I don't
need that either.
I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not my character, right?
Right.
So I don't. Like, I just get up, you know. Like, people like, I don't drink coffee or anything.
Wow.
I don't need coffee. I just get up in the morning, I'm like, boom, out the door, you know? I just go do my thing. So, I don't know, what motivates me? I have no idea what motivates me. You know, like, is it money? Is it, you know, whatever? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just, I like to keep busy.
Right.
That's all it is.
You just like to grind. You just like to grind.
You know what's funny? I think I'm the polar opposite in a sense. I like to say that I'm actively lazy, with meaning that, you know, like I'm active, but I do it because I want to be lazy one day.
Right. You want to retire.
So, like, and I don't think I'll ever retire. I'll semi-retire, I think. But, like, my point is that, yeah, granted, like, you know, it's a blessing that, like, I'm able to travel, you know, like, with my fiance and everything, like, 3-4 times a year, and at, like, 2-3 week intervals or something like that.
Wow.
But I want to travel where it's like I'm gone for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, I hear you.
Where
It doesn't matter.
But
Right.
you know, and it doesn't matter. And don't get me wrong. Like obviously, like let's say I'm in Japan and I'm, you know, like I'm having a good time, but I'm still working. You know,
Right.
because I want to get to that point where I don't need to physically be present to,
Right.
you know, make money.
Isn't it crazy that you could? I don't know if you guys are saying. I could just have a full work day on my phone, just like, just send me angry emails, and you don't even actually have to answer. You should answer the phone. You don't even have to answer the phone. Just let me text this guy. And it's just like, and I've done that where
I did that in Brazil.
Yeah.
Because like the thing was I couldn't really answer because
Right.
it's like a quarter a minute.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it'd get expensive with how many phone calls I get.
Right.
right.
But
It is crazy that you can do that now. It's pretty.
No, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we really wanted, like you could probably move to Tampa right now, and the business would still run. I don't think it would grow as fast as it would be if you're here, right?
Yeah.
I could probably move to Alaska and go fishing every day. Business would probably still run.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like when you get to like a certain point, like I guess like when you own on a rental prop, whatever, you could have these sabbaticals.
Yeah, no, because like here's the thing, like I guess because like I spent I would say majority of the day yesterday with my uncle. He's half paralyzed from I think the left side. He had a heart attack a couple years back.
Oh wow!
Because he worked 3 jobs and he worked like 20 hours a day.
Whoa!
Jesus.
Consistently.
Yeah, consistently, and had a very shitty diet.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Recipe for disaster.
And you
So
know,
sorry
he's
about that.
you know, like obviously, you know, listening to his advice, he's like, because like he sees that I'm go.
Yeah.
I'm always working. I'm always on my phone or something like that. He was like, sometimes you need to slow down a little and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing that I didn't get to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, granted, I always thought that way, but like seeing it through him, it's like,
Holy man.
damn.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta think about something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
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 No, it's important that you take time for yourself, right? Like I try to work out at least once or twice a day, right? I try to eat healthy throughout the week. I try to work really hard Monday through Thursday, Friday, here and Saturday a little bit. But I work to such extremes that when I play to massive extremes as well, right? Right. People say you need to live in moderation, or you could achieve balance through just massive extremes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do, and it works. I wake up every Monday morning, I'm like a little shot out, take that 150 milligrams of caffeine, I'm on it again. You know? So it's all about finding balance, about,
Exactly.
health. I mean, truly, I lost 17 pounds in the past like 2 months, just working out, eating healthy, and at this point, I'm not where I want to be. I still got to go a little bit more.
You're still gonna get that dress though.
We got a little bet going on right now. Who's gonna look the best by summer? and God knows I'm gonna like
The fact that he even thinks it's a competition.
Okay.
Is
All right, relax, Panecki.
it's just,
Relax,
it's
Chief.
just crazy.
Y'all will see. The next one, we'll have our shirts
wait,
off,
do the,
and you can be the judge. Y'all can be the judge. But like, it really is helpful to win every day, right? Like small wins. You could have the most unproductive work day. You keep getting punched in the face, failure. But when you wake up, make your bed, and you go for that run, regardless of how tired you are, that W is still a W. You come home, 9 o'clock, you finish work, you go to the gym. That W is still a W. So you can go to sleep saying, I'm a motherfucking winner. Y'all can't stop me, no matter what. You gotta catch consistent W's.
So
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Well, thank you for being on. Honestly, I learned a lot.
Well,
Yeah, same.
Sure.
yeah.
Hopefully we get a subject 2 deal going.
We'll get a subject too. We'll do a couple of these together. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for being on the podcast. And do you have any other questions, Joey?
No, I'm good.
One last thing, guys. We run the show, Essex County. No listing agent better, guaranteed. We got that, 100%. We got all the buyers. If you're looking for financing, we got that. We'll lend you money, 100%. If you want deals, hit me up. If you're an animal and you want to win and be with a winning team, hit me up. We're hiring.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take
guys.
care, everyone.
Much love.